All right, welcome to the next episode of the Pay Your Tip Up podcast. I'm Texas DJ. I'm going to be your host. And the Pay Your Tip Up podcast is a podcast about strip clubs, strip club people, strip club lessons. And I'm excited to talk about one of the worst strip club jobs I've ever had. And it started off bad because it was kind of sketchy. The guy that hired me, his name was Ruben. He told me not to meet him at the club, but to go to Hooters. Yeah, Hooters, the restaurant. We went there so he could meet me about the job. And basically got it, talked to him mostly about shit that had nothing to do with the job, but I had already had the job before. Anyway, not even a week went by before I realized I was working in a whorehouse. I was working in a whorehouse, and guys would come in, grab a girl, go straight to VIP. My job was to keep track of the songs, and if the girls went over so many, which they rarely ever did. Well, they did sometimes. I would get $5 for every fourth, fifth, and sixth song. But some guys wouldn't last that long. Eventually I figured out it was a whorehouse. And this place, it looks like someone took a building from Mexico and put it in America. Literally, if you took somebody that's actually been to Mexico, and I'm not talking about like fucking, oh, let's go down to Cancun and Puerto Vallarta. No, fuck all that bullshit, alright? I don't care if you've ever been to tourist spots. I'm like, somebody that actually drove into, like, went to Matamoros, Reynosa, from Nuevo Laredo. If you've ever been there, you look at this building, you'll be like, wow, I'm in Mexico. No, you're in Texas. It's really weird. It's called the Boom Boom. I always call it the Boom Boom Room for some reason. I guess it just sounds better because the Boom Boom really doesn't have the same effect as the Boom Boom Room. Yeah, no, the inside was sketchy as fuck. They had one TV that the bartender, which was also the manager, could look at. An ice machine that only worked like 20% of the time. There was two pool tables that mostly employees would play at. One stage, there was couches where people could get lap dances at, but since it was a whorehouse, they really just did it in VIP. And one sad DJ booth with an outdated computer that could barely play CDs. Yeah. So it was a hell of a time uploading music to that fucker. And a lot of their music was like the same. It was like 100 songs. That's it, like 100 songs. I expanded it to more than that. They had no CD changers. CDs were still a thing in strip clubs when I started. And couldn't use them, so I would upload the music to a computer, which would take a hell of a long time. You can download a song in 10 seconds now, maybe even 5 seconds now. To upload a song to this computer would take 4 to 5 minutes per song. Yeah, it was irritating. I couldn't even play the song that I put off the CD that I put into the computer. That's how shitty the place was. But at the time, I was drinking all the time. I had my job at Applebee's where I was a waiter on the weekends. And I worked there Monday through Friday, drinking. To understand my level of drinking, I would wake up every day and have a double, 2 fingers worth of fucking whiskey. That's how we did it. That's how we rolled, son. Yeah, bad times. So I would go to work, I'd take a book, and I'd take a bottle. A small, like, little pint of whiskey or something. And I would just drink it throughout the day. And guys would come in. It was the first time I'd ever seen a pregnant chick suck a dick. And I'm literally not saying that as a euphemism or anything, or being sarcastic. There was a pregnant chick. She was so pregnant. And it wasn't that she was fat. If you looked at her from behind, you'd be like, okay, she looks fucking, she's got a nice ass, some good legs, and then she turns around and all that baby is like right there like a basketball on the front of her, and you'd be like, damn, like some alien gonna burst out of that motherfucker. Yeah, and a couple of times some guys would go in there, and I guess they'd have coke dick, and I have to be like, hey, after a certain point I have to tell them, I was like, hey, this is song number 4, it was part of my job, tell them it was song 4, because I had to warn them, which I would get a little bit extra for that from the club. And the girls would try to hurry up because, see, the guys would come in, from what I figured out, is that they would have a preset price. Like, Okay, you want to fuck me? That's so amount of money. And the girls would pay the club, because it was $20 a song, to be in VIP. The club got $5 per song. And after that, they would go up to $25 a song. Which I got the extra $5 because I was having to keep track. So the girls would be like, okay, I got so much money from this guy. But because he's taking so long to nut, I'm now paying the club out of the money that I got. You know, instead of making $400, well, this guy took 5 songs to come, so that was $60 for the first 3 songs, and then $50 for the 2 after that. That's $110 that she's got to pay the club out of the $400 that she got. You know, so it was a thing. You know, plus the pregnant chick would give me money so I could go in there and make the guys hurry up, because they'd be like, oh yeah, you gotta hurry. Hurry. Yeah, so, yeah. She sucked a lot of dick. She was 7 months pregnant and was there literally, I wasn't there when this happened. They told me that she had started going into contractions at work. And they took her to the hospital because they didn't want an ambulance to show up to the club. Yeah, that's how fucking shitty it was. They were worried that somebody's gonna be sucking dick or fucking when the ambulance showed up, which obviously the police are gonna have to show up, so they didn't want that shit to happen. It was a horrible time. Okay, it was a horrible time. It might sound like a good time. It wasn't. You know, low point, because you can work at a ghetto club and make money. I was working at a ghetto club and not making money. I was making $60 per shift. Mind you, if the girls didn't go over 3 songs every trip to the VIP, I didn't make any extra cash. Except for those girls that would give me extra cash. You know, be like, tell the guy to hurry up, blah, blah, blah. You know, shit like that. Otherwise, I was walking out with $60. So I wasn't making any money. So after a while, I complained about this. They gave me some more money. Which, in hindsight, I think that was the amount of money the guy was supposed to give me, which was $80. I think Ruben was actually keeping that shit. But who knows? I'll never know. To describe the level of shittiness so you can understand the girls, there was no female bathroom in the club. Okay? They had a policy, no women whatsoever. Doesn't matter if you're a couple and you're like, oh, we want to have some fun and get fucked by the stripper. No. Okay? There was no women allowed. Because they didn't have a bathroom for women. First of all. The only toilet for women was in the dressing room. And the women would come up to this mirror, sit down on a bench that was literally like the kind of bench you see in high school in the gym, you know? In the gym locker room. Sorry, I gotta drink this beer. I'm dry in the throat. 1 second. So it was the kind of bench you saw at a school. And that's the kind they were using. And the toilet had no walls around it because they were trying to stop girls from doing cocaine. But you can't stop strippers from doing cocaine. They had a shower that had no curtain. The lockers were all busted to hell. It's like they literally fell off the back of a truck and they were like, wow, we can still use these because they're still good. So yeah, that's the kind of bathroom. So you can imagine the kind of women that are working there. You know? And these girls were putting out. Some of them were cute, I'm not gonna lie. There were some fucking really cute chicks. And it was fucking horrible. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. At this time of my life, if you had thrown a woman at me, I'd have tried to fuck her. I'm not gonna bullshit about that. Okay, that's completely true. I would have fucked anything at that time in my life. And I tried. In some cases, I succeeded. I did get laid there a couple times. Did a couple blowjobs for free. Before they started being like, oh, he's paying for it. No, it's free. Because, when you're drunk on the job, some of these girls got horny, which does happen. And, they threw it at me, and I caught it. I did have to worry about STDs, though, which is no fucking lie, okay? STDs did float around that shit, okay? Crabs were rampant, okay? We could have started a restaurant. That's how bad the crabs were. Anyway, to round off the story, you can already imagine how bad it was. And why did I quit? Well, I can tell you why I quit, because one day I'm literally sitting down reading a book. I got a hangover. I didn't fucking bring a bottle of booze. Cell phones were just starting to be a thing. That's the key word. Cell phones were starting to be a thing. Nokia made basically the only cell phone. You know, that fucking brick that you could get shot. If the bullet hit the Nokia phone, the bullet would bounce off and hit the guy that shot at you. And I was there. I was playing music, and this bitch walks out. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to tell you about this. They didn't have a kitchen. Of course not. Why would they fucking have a kitchen? I'll put a picture of the building. You're going to be looking at it and be like, oh, they got no kitchen. They had a microwave that people would microwave their food at. And a small fridge to keep your food cold. This girl put her burrito in, and we had no customers. She's already dressed. Opened the fucking dressing room door and yells out, "Get my burrito." I was like, no. I said on the microphone, so she heard me. And she opened the door again. "Get my burrito, bitch." I'm like, I'm definitely not going to get it. One last time. She screamed it so fucking loud. "Get my burrito, motherfucker, right now." I don't know what's happening. I was like, turned on the microphone and I said, "Kiss my ass." Which turned out to be the wrong idea, because next thing I know, there's a shoe flying right by my face. It's kind of hard to explain when you see a shoe flying right by your face, but I got up saying, "What the fuck?" In time to see a stiletto, the kind the stripper shoes wear, come flying at my face. It hit me in the head. The thick part, not the real skinny part. Because if you're going to get hit by a shoe that's a stiletto, you want to get hit by the thick part, which isn't going to hurt as much as a real thin stiletto that could basically impale itself in your fucking head. Long story long, we get into an argument about her hitting me. I didn't hit her. Manager got up. He's like, "Wow, you need to calm down." I'm like, all right. I was like, "You're taking her fucking side." She hit me. She assaulted me. I was like, all right, whatever. So I called on my buddy who borrowed my truck, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need you to come get me." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "I need you to come get me. I'm going to quit." Well, that day I was going to work a double. So I'd done this before because I wasn't making a lot of money. I said, "Hey, I need you to pay me ahead of time because I got to give the money to my roommate," which had happened before. Again, I wasn't making a lot of money there. And I was making more money at Applebee's, which sounds strange, but yeah, I'd make more money at Applebee's. And he gave me the money. My buddy rolled up. I was like, "Hey, I got to get my backpack." Because everybody knew I had a bunch of shit in there. So I got in the truck, and I'm like, "Go, go, go." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Go." I had erased all the music except for one long song, which I put on a loop. And yeah, we took off. I blocked Ruben's number and the work number. And we took off. I said, "Fuck him." And years later, I saw him, and he's like, "Why did you do that?" I go, "Because you let that bitch hit me in the head with a fucking shoe, and you didn't send her home." I go, "If you'd sent her home, I probably would have stayed. But you did that," and I said, "Fuck it." Yeah, that was the Boom Boom Room. Such a classy and wonderful place. I checked out the reviews online for this. It's the Boom Boom, Mission, Texas. One guy actually put like, "Wow, you can have a lot of fun in there." Sketchy though. That's literally one of the fucking comments someone put on there. They actually put that it's sketchy. And one guy put, "You can have a lot of fun there if you have money." Yeah, that was one of the worst places I ever worked at. A ghetto place that I didn't make any money at. I'm going to talk about some more places getting fired. Some places quitting. Yeah, some great fucking things. I'm going to also tell some stories about my friends. Trying to get other people to basically get on the podcast with me, which we can share their stories. But until then, I really hoped you enjoyed the story about the Boom Boom. It's still open as far as I know. And if you find yourself in the Rio Grande Valley, which is South Texas, and you want to check it out, just Google it. Boom Boom, Mission, Texas, and you'll find it. And hopefully you survive. All right, I'll talk to you next time. I'm probably going to make make a podcast about one of the guys I met there. That's a good story, but we'll talk about that later. All right, this is Ted DJ saying, be safe, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can be bothered to do so. If not, to hell with it. I'll see you next time.